It's time for Youth Central Sports. From the hills and the mountains of Tennessee, it's the original Coach Carter. And somewhere off the strip of Las Vegas, it's the elder Rory T. Edwards. And somewhere near Mickey and Minnie Country in Orlando, it's Charles E. Morse. And now it's time for Youth Central Sports. Because sports is more than a game.
True that. Sports is more than a game. And how true is that? I'm Charles Morris with the original Coach Carter. Happy to be with you here on this. Now how did I do that? But anyway, happy to be here with you on this Wednesday at 11 p.m. where we come to you every Wednesday. And Vince, you're going to have to excuse me here because I think something happened here on Facebook, so I'm going to try to talk. I'm going to try to talk and also work with it at the same time. But how's things there in Tennessee, and has the weather started to change at all? And how's things working with the school, with the virus and everything?
Well, with the school, things are rolling along pretty well. We have some quarantines, but the numbers are manageable at this time. Still playing football. Volleyball's in full swing. There are something like 18 and 1 or 2, and undefeated in district. Football team is 4-1. So they're still playing. So things are going along well. Weather-wise, it's starting to cool a little bit, but 60s in the mornings, but we're still doing 80s, 90s a day.
Okay, I think my Facebook Live went away, but looked like it came back, so I'm going to see what it's going to do. But anyway, if not, then I'll go in and I'll readjust it. But, okay, it popped up, so we're a few minutes late, but that's okay. But, I think about you every day, and I'll tell you, to be honest, I'm a little concerned, but that's one thing that I know that you know what you're doing, and you're not gonna do anything stupid. But
I'm trying to. Try not.
So I am. I'm being honest with you. I'm a little worried, but I know you're gonna do what you need to do in order to take care of yourself. So
I'm gonna try real hard. It's a tough environment. It's a tough situation, and I'm working. I've been involved. We've been in person for 2 weeks. I've been in person for 4 weeks with working with special needs kids, and we're taking a lot of precautions. A lot depends on what happens away from us as much as it happens while they're there. I don't want to minimize the risk. I don't want to minimize the importance of it, but we're pushing on, following guidelines, and trying to stay as much on the guidelines as possible.
okay, I got you. I did see on ESPN on the Tinker that looks like the NCAA basketball starts up on November 25th. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, there's been talk about that, and some of the football is going to be coming back in October. One of the
Was that the Pac-10?
Pac-10, I think it was. That's a very encouraging sign that something has led them to believe that they can effectively do this with a lot of testing and tracing. From the basketball side, that's encouraging that a lot of teams collegiately have been doing their summer workouts and their fall workouts with the anticipation that they would be able to play. So that's encouraging for us and at our level that hopefully we'll be able to get a season in as well.
Yeah. Little by little, I guess maybe they're trying to figure some things out. Now, I didn't, I just saw it. I saw it on the Tinker. And it looks, and I don't know if you read it, but I'll throw it out there. Did you see where I guess Major League Baseball is trying to go into the bubble, I guess, for the playoffs? Did you see any of that?
I saw I saw a little, I heard a little snippet of it. I did not get the full details of it, but it would make sense if they really want to have this. That's what they're going to have to do in order to minimize, because those guys are still traveling. Unlike basketball, they're not going anywhere. They're just walking across the courtyard. And you look at the football, they're traveling too. And I'm kind of amazed so far, football wise, NFL wise, that the numbers, if they're reporting them correctly, are not high. They do a great job of doing that. So maybe baseball is ready now to be more disciplined and really try to get a good playoff in, which would be good.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, oh, okay. I just got a text from Rory saying he was having dinner with his daughter, that he might be a little late, but okay. It's nothing like hanging out with your
Can't beat it.
children. Hey,
Can't,
how many people can say, hey, you know what, I'm having dinner with my daughter? How much of a blessing is that?
that's a blessing. That's truly a blessing. Truly, truly
Yeah,
a blessing.
yeah, truly, truly. It was funny because I think I mentioned on the show that that my cousin had passed, and went to his funeral on Saturday in Jacksonville. And it's always one of those things, Vince, where it's sad, but at the same time, you get to see people you haven't seen in a long time, man, family members. And unfortunately, we are one of these. I am associated with my family where we don't see each other the way that we should,
Mhm.
and that's just the norm. It's not a thing where we don't get along. It's just that we are not like a lot of other families that have these reunions, and they have that kind of bond and they're close like that. But it's just so interesting because you grow up with these people and cousins, and you see them when da da da, and then you go on with your life, and then you look up one day and uh, three of them are like in wheelchairs, and then the youngest one out of the 15 passed, and then you go and you be like, wow, and you look and like where did the time go? It's like, where did the time go? And you're sitting there, and I'm looking at my cousins who I used to play basketball with, and he got a bad leg. I got another one who was a really good basketball player. I hadn't seen him for years, and I walked up to him and I said, hey, Frog, man, how you doing? And his people around him, I think it was his wife and probably his son, is it, he really can't see you because he has cataracts, right? And then he said, Charles, I thought that was you. I really couldn't see it, but hey, man, how you doing? I'd be like, hey, man, it's been some years, but it was good seeing him. And then his other brother, the oldest one, is in one of those motorized chairs, and he told me now that he's 72 years old. And one of the others is like 69. And so to see these people how that you grew up with, and it's just strange in the sense that, like, these are my relatives, but you don't see them and talk to them enough. It's just, but that's life. That's life. You love
Yeah,
them.
time moves on, and unfortunately, that's one of those things where you have to make time. And I think our lives are, in some cases, so rudimentary and so hectic that we keep thinking, well, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it
Right.
later. Later never comes. Or by the time you're forced to do it later, a lot of things have happened that you're not aware of. And it is that cultural shock when you walk in and say, well, why didn't you tell me? Well, I thought you knew, or whatever the reason may be. So, yes, a big shock. And as Father Time, as you tell young athletes, there will come a time when some of the activities that you're doing now and you're taking for granted, you will not be able to do, because Father Time does not discriminate. Father Time is coming no matter what, and you got
Right.
to prepare. You tell young athletes now, if you take care of your body now, it will take care of you later. But if you don't take care of it now, it will fail you later on.
Well, I mean, when I say this, you'll understand what I'm saying because you would understand. But I can remember when I was in college, and I can remember one of the guys we were playing ball, one day in the gym, and he turned around and he said, "Man, I can't imagine." He was just speaking honestly. I just can't imagine that one day I won't be playing basketball. Man, I'm gonna play basketball forever. And I was sitting there thinking about like, yeah, I can't imagine at that time, and then be like, I can't imagine not playing basketball. Vince, I can't tell you the last time I played some basketball.
I can, I'm sure at some point in time I said the same thing. Uh, every athlete did, but the only thing that's been a saving grace for me, accidentally or on purpose, I've always been able to stay around athletics, particularly my fondness for the game of basketball and my fondness for football as well. I've been able to stay close to them. So, yeah, I don't play, but I'm still involved. I still feel like I'm involved. And here at the school, I get a chance to go out on the field with practice and smell that leather, watch those drills, hear that contact, and that's just it's just refreshing for me. And then I get to go inside and work with the guys on the basketball court. So I'm not, no, I'm not playing. I'm not running in wind sprints and all that kind of stuff, but I'm very much there, and I think that's what keeps me connected, if you will, because I'm around those guys, and I can't imagine not being around them and not being around some kind of sport. That is hard for me to imagine.
I just saw something that I was like, whoa, and I don't know if you had a chance to read it, Vince, but I saw where Myra Moore married a gentleman that she helped get out of prison who had been in prison for 22 years. Did you see that story? Do you know anything about that
I
story?
don't know much about the story. I just saw it not too long ago. I find it very interesting. I think what she has been doing and the sacrifices she made was a very courageous thing to do. It's really taking a stance. It's really believing in something enough that you sacrifice opportunities that she had, to play in the WNBA, to get behind that movement or that issue, and then to find and I would imagine I'm trying to understand what may have taken place on that. I'd love to hear the story accurately, to read what the emotions may have been involved and what they obviously bonded during that time, and I just find it interesting. I guess you could say that's a great way to end that in a terrible situation by and them getting married. I hope and wish them the very best. I think a lot of people are surprised. I'm one who I don't know that I'm surprised. I'm a little taken maybe, but you got to think about the amount of time they spent together and must have forged something for them.
Yeah,
What I did not have not read is whether or not she'll go back to basketball, which I'm not sure she will. But I tell you what, the game is she has something to contribute to the game.
yeah. It's a very it sounds like a movie, a movie
Yeah,
in the making.
if you can get if the details become available, I would love to get a little bit more information about just from just being curious. Over the last 13 years, they developed a friendship, and it just continued. Joint fights. And I guess according to a little brief article, brief statement that they were making about that, the battle it just kept going, and they grew closer and closer together. That oneness, that friendship turned into something even more, common goal, and they entered this new chapter.
Wow, that sounds like a true Disney movie, right? Well, Disney probably won't touch that one, but it sounds like a true uh, Netflix.
It-
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Netflix do that one.
he makes an interesting statement though. He said he wanted to marry her because, at the same time, protecting her because being in a relationship with a man in prison is extremely difficult and painful. He said, the 40-year-old said on Wednesday. So that's interesting. Once again, it seemed like they there was that connection that they bonded over his plight, if you will, and it formed him, and he didn't want her to feel trapped, and didn't want her to feel open and have the ability at any time to leave as much as he wanted to. So interesting. I mean, it does sound like a Hallmark movie to me. Not only
There you go.
warm in, and I'm looking at a picture of them, they smile, and everybody seems to be very, very happy. And hey, at the end of the day, that's what I like to see. So, congrats to 'em. I know people are going to find it a little strange,
Right.
but it is what it is. I mean, if they're happy, then why should we be worried about that?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
But I'm
just
saying people will judge it, but I'm just saying in these given times, what a nice story.
well,
Uh,
well, well, well actually, Vince. For me, I don't. I mean, that's how people gonna say. But for me, I look at it from the standpoint of how a phase of your life seems to be hopeless, and now a phase of your life you're this. When I mean, that's how I look at it. Like you in prison, and it looks like you're gonna be there forever. And then now look at what life has brought you. So,
both, both of them, they're both satisfied. I would imagine this may fuel her fire as well as his to continue this fight to free others who have been unjustly incarcerated, and which would be a great effort. I would also, I guess, selfishly, from a basketball perspective, I'd like to see her go back and play. But it may be that's not what that allowed her to do what she's doing now, and it's she's going to move on to something different.
yeah, and again, just thinking about it, I mean, even so, because let's just say, and I don't mean it, I don't mean anything by what I'm going to say, but I'm just trying to say, let's just say 6 or 7 years, it doesn't work. But it's still the same thing. It's still a great story in the sense of you're here in life, and then there's another phase of life. Then there's another phase in life because it's teaching about life is always evolving and changing, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Because we like to think it's this script that we can write and pre-plan and go by our script. And so I'm trying to say that life is such that we think this and look at one day, look at it's this now, is what I'm trying to say.
well, I don't know. To your point, I'm not sure there's much script writing in there because I don't think that's what she entered
No, no,
believing
no,
they would
no, no,
do.
no. I'm talking about how we want to write our
No,
script in the
but
sense that we want to plan to the T a lot of times. And life
I
is
don't
not
think
that way, is what I'm saying.
anybody would have planned that. I think what people will do now is find it'll be difficult for them to accept this.
Well,
They
that's
want to
what I'm
question,
saying.
but it's just the difficult people who don't understand happiness. People
Right,
don't understand find their own happiness, and my happiness, your happiness, this guy down the block happiness does not always look the same. And
right,
there are people who can't relate to. I'll be honest. I struggle with the idea when she decided not to play and to pursue this. And while I thought it was a noble thing, I think my first reaction was that you're a heck of an athlete. You earned the opportunity, and she turned. It wasn't about the money. It's about her, showcasing her talent and being able to impact the league with her talent. But she still had the same impact. Just wasn't on the court; it was off the court. So I look at that as saying that's following your destiny. That's following your purpose. Once you identify what it is, and I don't believe, I think she was always involved, but I don't think she ever thought she was going to do this. But whatever led her to it, I mean, and look at the outcome. Yeah, so that evolution you're talking about. Hopefully, I'm hoping it has a great impact on others
right,
as well. I'm wishing them the best. I mean, go have some fun.
right. Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to ask you about this. Clippers,
Very,
Clippers,
very, yeah, very
Clippers,
disappointed. I don't know how
Clippers.
when you sit down and look at that, I'm sure. knowing Doc as I do, I know he's probably, well, split personality, probably disappointed on one side, angry on the other. And then the third part of that is, what do I do from here? What do you do? You got a lot of talent. You definitely demonstrated that you were very capable. You're up 3-1, and then you turn around and lose that. How do you? I'm thinking to myself, how do you reconcile that? Now, a lot of people going to question Doc because he is the coach. And I think he and the owner has a great relationship. They've been through some hard times together. The Donald Sterling situation and all that, and Doc has really helped them to build. But bottom line, it's about winning. It's about winning, and it's going to see how they sit down and evaluate this effort because they were exactly where they wanted to be. They were right on schedule. I would love to have the opportunity to sit in to hear what they think happened. I know what it looked like it happened on TV to me, but what actually happened? I mean, my first thought was you took it for granted, and like someone said, well, that was one game, but you gave up 3 games, and I don't understand. It's hard for me because I had picked them to be in the finals, and I thought they were very capable. I thought they matched up. It would be an interesting matchup with the Lakers, but here they are. They're going home. And I read a quick thing about Doc, and right now he's taking it in stride, but I'm sure it's got to be bothered, without a shadow of a doubt. That's got to. How do you reconcile yourself with that?
Well, when I to to be honest, I was watching the game, and with about 5 minutes to go, I I turned the channel. I didn't. So when I woke up this morning, I heard they was down by 20 with 2 minutes to go. So when I turned, it was 5 minutes to go in the game. I saw how the momentum was. I said, I don't even want to see the end of it. So I turned it to 2.5 men. And then when I woke up this morning, I looked up. I mean, I saw where I guess Stephen A. Smith they were showing some clips of him having yeah, and found out that they was down by 20 with 2 minutes to go. I was like, whoa. So, oh,
It's a mystery that I think will be answered at some point in time, but you got to sit back. If you're a basketball guy, you got to sit back and scratch your head on that because they got superior. Well, they had better talent. They had a talented bench. They had a talented team. Something wasn't clicking. I mean, somebody said that they hadn't spent enough time together all of the starters and everybody playing it. Okay, there's some validity to chemistry, but all the marbles were on the table. So look at Houston. They did exactly what they were predicted to do. They folded, they cracked, they fell apart. And D'Antonio is left, and I do think there's going to be some other moves in Houston. Whether or not that will happen to Doc or not, because the first question is to stay. Not will he be given the chance, does he want to stay? That would be a question because this is hard to swallow. I know Doc's a seasoned veteran, he's an experienced coach and all that, but you sitting when you write your script, you had fulfilled every aspect of your script. We were right. You had the total control, and it just went away. That's hard to deal with.
yeah, I don't know what that was. But let's, before we finish talking about the Clippers, we gotta go on the West Coast, and we gotta ask the elder how was dinner with his daughter. How was dinner with your daughter, Rory T. Edwards, our elder? How was dinner with the daughter?
She hit me. She hit me for a buck 50. My granddaughter said she didn't want to show up, but then she called me and asked me could I order or something, and then she went to the top of the menu. She went to the penthouse of the menu and got like the super deluxe extra leg crab legs, 25 crab legs in a bunch wrapped up in a rubber band type. And I just had to sit there and absorb it. I had to absorb it, So, yeah, yeah. So, I'm like, I don't even know who's on the $50 bill, but I know I gave a few of them away today.
Yeah, yeah. You probably need to put your picture on that bad boy now.
Woo! Yes, sir. But it's all good. I'm gonna go to LA and get in that Clippers parade. Oh, I forgot it's not gonna be one. But anyway, uh, uh,
You can get in the
I'm
parade,
a
but it
Laker
won't be a
fan.
Clipper parade.
Yeah, I'm a Laker fan, so I'm gonna go. We're gonna see. But I saw what y'all was talking about. This, I just got to say that the Denver Nuggets have made a pact amongst 1 to 12 that they're just going to be professional in every aspect of being on the court. Next man up. When you get in the game, come to play. People are playing above what people would say their pay grade. They're playing above that. Murray is saying, I went to that Mamba camp, and my mentality is of that Mamba mentality. And I think the Joker, he's playing, really well. People are saying he's the best passing center of all times, but I think people have missed the early stages overseas of Sabonis, and then even when Sabonis played in the NBA, he still was quite nifty in his passing ability. But I'm saying the Lakers have three bigs, and so it's going to be difficult. I don't know if y'all got that far yet, but
No.
it's going to be difficult to definitely, if the Lakers play right, they can wear him down, because he's not going to be able to bang and bump and shoot and score and defend all three of those big guys during the course of the next series. But this is for the Mamba. They say this is for the Mamba.
Yeah. Now.
Well, if I was him, I would rather see in Dwight Howard. I would beg them, please put Dwight Howard in the game. Uh, because I think if he put Dwight Howard in the game, he'll have a fabulous game. Uh, Dwight might
Dwight's
not
going to
do
be last option. Last option.
yeah, they're gonna put a guard in there before they put Dwight.
Yeah,
But
they probably put Morris on him or something.
when
Yeah.
I looked at the stats for Kawhi and Paul George in the fourth quarter, it's just, how do you, I don't know how, in a game seven, when you are player, how does that happen in a game seven in the fourth quarter when you Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? I mean, that was crazy. Did you
Well,
guys see?
you can
Did
ask
you guys see
Howard
that they didn't? I don't even think. What I think they scored a combined
24
like
points.
two points in the
24.
fourth quarter, something like that.
They for the whole game they combined they made 20 points, and the other young man had 40. So they didn't score very much.
Murray.
And Murray, yeah, he had 40 points. They only had 24 between the two of them, and that was probably one of the differences in the game. That they weren't scoring. They weren't putting the ball in the hole, and that's what happened when you don't play. To like the elder said, the Nuggets had nothing to lose. They just laid it out there and they played hard. They played with desire to get it. And each player, I mean, they embodied that team aspect. And the coach was, I thought he did. I liked the way he approached it. Hey, we're just gonna play. We're gonna lay it on the line and do what we do, and we'll let it fall where it falls. And like everybody, they were asking Murray about the Lakers, and he said, are you worried about the Lakers? He said, Lakers need to be worried about us, which is a good point.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
true, true. So the Heat and the Celtics overtime. What'd you guys think of that game?
So that was good basketball.
Very good.
That was really good.
All right,
I'm a little surprised at the Heat, though. The Heat is playing at a level that I didn't expect them to play.
right. That's
I
what I
mean,
was going to ask you. Yeah.
The
Yeah, that's
fact
yeah.
Eric Spoelstra has done a good job of assembling quietly some very good talent that plays very well. I'm not a Jimmy Butler fan, but he is really, at this point so far, really is owning his worth. And he's really driving those guys and giving them something to really get after. So I'm impressed with that. And he's quietly put some guys on that team that a lot of people haven't heard of or don't know him, but those guys are playing their butts off out there. So I tell you what, I'm impressed. I like Boston. I like what they do. This is going to be heart and soul here. It should be an interesting uh, game. I hope will go seven just to make it interesting. I don't see a sweep in there, but you never know.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Hmm.
I think the Heat has surprised a lot of people, and
Them just them guys from overseas. You have to really understand that they're technically very sound. They work on the fundamentals. He work on the things that were executed back in the day, pick and rolls and back cuts and all of those things. They work on and they execute very well, and they're getting easy layups. And then them cats are hitting threes like it's regular, you know. And so Boston had a chance. Boston was up with by 10 with like 2 minutes left in the game, and for me, this is just me. Uh, you don't stop accelerating going downhill. You know, if
Mhm.
you're winning the game and you're going downhill, why
I
pull
keep
the
going.
ball back? Why pull the ball back to just continue to do what you did to get to that level of
Sure.
of of winning? And most teams and most coaches say, okay, pull it back, utilize the clock, and then what happens is you fall out of sequence of what
Yeah.
got you to where you are. And then what happens? The other team hits a three, then they come and steal the ball because you're playing complacent, and they hit another three, and next thing you know, they're only down four. Two possessions, right? And then you panic. And when you go into panic mode, then you make silly mistakes. And I think the game winning shot that could have gave Boston the last the opportunity to win was my man Kimba held the ball too long, 17 seconds. Kimba held the
Mhm.
ball like James Harden for 14 seconds, and then tried to execute to get to his spot. Whereas when you're holding the ball, you make the guy either commit or you get to your spot because that's what you are. You're that dude, right? You're that guy. If you they brought you in to be that guy, be that guy. Don't sit out there going between your legs. And nobody out there looking for how good you can dribble. Get to your spot, make the basket, and then D up coming down. I'm just from a different generation of basketball, so you know y'all are in that same game. But I guess it's just that to me is just coaches allowing the players to dictate the outcome. When you just say, "Listen, get to that spot." At least if you get a shot of 3 4 seconds in the thing, and it doesn't happen, it's very difficult for somebody to get down the court unless it's James Harden, who takes like 12 steps before every shot to get a shot off. But that's just my observation. I'm sorry if it's inaccurate.
rumors.
But it is a style of play though. It is a style of play, and I think today a lot of teams, you look at fast breaks, setup, and basically the game. The way you know the game before is that on fast break, you trying to get to the cup. Today,
Yeah,
you're trying to 3 point spot. Now let's be honest, those guys are proficient on that, and they live from that. It's a little bit different, but you look at the shooting percentages; those guys are knocking down some shots. But the only bad thing about it when they don't fall, when they're inconsistent, boy, it changes the flow of the game. Uh,
right.
so and I do think what you're saying is very accurate. But then again, I look for those guys to make adjustments. Look for coaches to make adjustments, players to make adjustments. And when you don't do that, that's what happens. You lose games. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how they adjust the game too.
Rumors, t- rumors told me that Tyronn Lue is going to coach Philadelphia.
There is some conversation about that. There's also some conversation that Jeff Van Gundy is going to go to Houston and coach be the head coach over there. Lou deserves some another opportunity if that's what he wants. I think Sam Cassell needs to take given a look as well. Doc is very high on him. This guy's paid his dues, knows the game very well. So you got several available opportunities out there, and I still think there's going to be a couple more teams that's going to be looking for coaches.
Yeah, little birdie told me that they're just trying to work out the deal right now with Tyronn Lue in Philly.
Well, you look at now. Look at this. Livingston, who played with the Warriors, is now looking to come, and they brought back two of their former players to come back and work in the organization that they're rebuilding for next year. He's going to be in the front office, and by both sides, I think he's going to be working on the coaching staff. Very different approach for those guys out there. The way they do business is both their professional approach, but also their internal workings of how they structure their teams. It's very amazing, and it's done very quietly. Nobody's really paying attention to that right now, but they're building up and putting together. So that means they're going to take some young players, and by the time they come around to the season start, they're going to be a whole different kind of team. So, and that's a good transition for these guys, which still gives me a little small question though about with all that available talent that Steve Nash got the head coaching job. I mean, I'm not hating on Steve Nash, but it's just a question, And I know they're looking at. It's not about butts and seats because he's not going to put them butts in the seats. But he did go out and acknowledge that he got favoritism. He got white privilege on that, and he's going to try to embrace his position for the best of all people involved. Let's see how that works. Yeah, Jock Vaughn is going to stay on as an assistant, whom I thought he should have been head coach. And you still got Jock is going to be there, but you still got the Pelicans got an opening. But Indiana has an opening. Philadelphia has an opening. And somebody else had an opening as well. Well, Houston now has an opening. So let's see what happens on those jobs.
Now, if Van Gundy goes to Houston, that whole personality of that team is going to change.
Oh,
I
they're going to have.
wonder. That's
He's
yeah.
not
That's
going to play. He's not going to play small ball. I mean, he may have a small ball unit, but he will not. That will not be his. That's not Van Gundy's style. That's not the
no,
kind
no,
of
no. I'm
style.
not even talking about the small ball. I'm talking about that Harden holding the ball, holding the ball is what I'm talking
But
about.
but what I'm talking about is his style of play. That would
Right,
Harden may not even be there
right,
because
right.
there's
Well,
going to be wholesale changes there, and I don't know if Harden can play for Van Gundy kind of style. He's not D'Antoni. He has a
right.
whole
Well,
complete.
that's why I was trying to say. Well, see, you're saying what I was
But
trying to
about
say
that small
underneath the
ball,
table.
they're playing small ball. He doesn't play small ball.
Right.
He's going to get big. They're going to play inside out. Now, if Harden is willing to, stay on, if they keep him and play the way he wanted to play, he'll have a home. He won't tolerate that foolishness that he's doing. That's just not Jeff's style.
Yeah.
And they
I
got
don't know where
and
Harden would go. Where would you think Harden could go if Harden was to leave based on his style of play? Where do you think he could go? I don't see a team that he can go to where he
and
can
that's what
do what he does on Houston.
well, and interestingly enough, that's what they had. And now, just a sidebar to what you're saying, and this is what they're saying about Westbrook. They're saying Westbrook is not a comparable player to anybody. He's not a teammate to anybody. There's nobody he works well with. And now they haven't said that about Harden yet, but that's what they're saying about Westbrook. But I think it also applies to Harden. I don't know what he
Yeah,
can
I
go and do.
mean, when you hold the ball for 20 seconds, there's no team whose offense and particular coaches are going to. Because
I
the
don't.
one thing is that coaches to stay there have to win, right?
Yeah.
You've proven already that you're not a winner.
Oh yeah, without doubt. Without doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's weak.
So where could you go where somebody needs 50 points a night, but
With
also
no
10 assists?
Yeah, but no defense. He doesn't play any defense at all. So
Right.
where
Right.
that fit? So I mean, I just don't. I think Westbrook's gonna have a hard time
Yeah.
unless they
Yeah.
unless they do the Carmelo Anthony's, just sit down and really reassess themselves and decide that they really want to play this game and they're gonna have to make adjustments to their game. They could end up being out. Now Jeremy
Yeah.
Lin, if you remember Jeremy Lin, he won a
Yeah.
ring with. Been overseas now trying to make a comeback. He decided he left the team overseas he was playing for. I think it was in Japan or China, and he's coming back. He's going to try to make a comeback in the NBA. There's room for him. There really is. I was surprised nobody
Yeah.
picked him up. There's room for him because he's a role player. He's a solid. But he's not a problem. He's not a headache, and he can give you production.
Yeah. Hmm.
NFL. Any surprises this past week?
But let me make this clear right up front. I don't
Oh.
care what happened, but Tampa Bay lost, and my phone still works. All you Tampa Bay fans, you can call. Because when my Cowboys lost on what I thought was a controversial play, I did call and acknowledge the fact that we lost. I didn't make any excuse. I accepted it. I accepted it for what it was, but I can't. All of a sudden, y'all not answering your phone. Why not?
They got
Okay.
new service, new service.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
they
saying?
switched. Now they didn't. They gone from iPhones to Androids. They going from Androids to iPhones, and they changing their number. Why you want to do that?
Yeah. The only real big surprise for me was the Cardinals 49ers, right?
Yeah, a lot of people were. I was interested in the Raiders though, and the Raiders kind of surprised me from what they looked like.
Well,
They,
Really?
we don't really know what people look like because we haven't seen them. You know what I mean? So when
preseason.
you look at paper and you say, oh, well, he was a 6th round draft pick. You got to look at the NFL, and most of the guys who have longevity have been lower round draft pick players, right?
All right.
Right.
Them high round draft pick players are they're prima donnas, and they believe that if I break a nail that I can sit out a game, and it's not about that. So when you look at different teams and you look at personnel, you're like, oh, this is supposed to happen. I got to go back over and open my blinds and see what my man's over there doing across the way. Got them
But did you?
ATVs up tonight.
Yeah, but now you look at you talk about the adjustment in this league, and I think preseason has been critical. You look at the Titans; they have an opportunity to win that game by double digits. He missed two field goals and an extra point. Now, I truly believe he'd have missed that. He'd been looking for a job. They probably would not have taken him back. They probably would have took him. He would have flew from Denver to Nashville, and that he'd have been packing his bags. But let's see. So far, they seem to want to keep him right now, but because he those two field goals that would have been they had about 10 points. They big difference they had. They didn't look that bad, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Really. But those efforts were crucial. But he stayed with him, and the guy came through. What a relief when he knocked that thing that last one in. I know everybody was relieved. I actually was pulling for the guy myself. 'Cause I saw the look on his face. It's like, oh my God, I know how you feel. And well, if they lose this game, he's going to be crushed. But they came back and won it. So I thought they played well. Um, uh, I thought my Cowboys did not look as offensively. I didn't think they looked. I thought we did a good job passing the ball. I didn't like the run game, but that last pass, where they call that offensive interference, I think if they don't call that, they win that game. But that's the way it goes.
They were. Did you guys see how they was beating up on Baker Mayfield? Baker. Mayfield. They, oof, they were not nice to him. I didn't see the game, but they
No, I didn't
said
get that game in my head.
it was it was it was an ugly game. And as a matter of fact, they said because they're we're gonna go over the schedule, but they're supposed to be going up against the Bengals. And if they said that if the Browns lose to the Bengals, it's like they're basically saying like their season over. That's
What's
what the
that? The
talk
Monday
is
night
like.
game, right? That's the Monday
Huh?
night game. That's the Monday
Uh,
night game or the Sunday night game. It's either
I
or. It's a special. I think it's the Monday night game, right?
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it Monday? It's not Thursday, is it?
No, it's a Monday night or Sunday night game. Thursday is I don't know. Let me stop before I start making up stuff.
Thursday night. It's the Bengals and the Browns.
Oh, so it's the Thursday night game. Okay,
Hmm.
that's tomato.
Tomorrow
Oh.
night.
Okay.
So what's the
So,
numbers look like, Charles? You keep the tabulation. What we look like?
well,
We in the
actually, you know what?
zeros?
I need you to be telling me some of the Vegas numbers, man.
Man, don't listen to them numbers, man. The guys haven't been. They've been corona. They've been corona for 8 months. They don't. Them numbers aren't right now. Don't believe them numbers.
Oh, actually, you know what? Wait a minute. Let me go. Oh, man.
Oh, y'all pictures too of the stadium, right? I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it this weekend because it's gonna be at night. You want to get the stadium now with the lights and everything on at night. It's really nice.
man. Somebody was not happy with that Washington Eagles game, man. I had to hear a whole bunch of stuff, man. But
I was
yeah, woo,
Ooh.
man.
They just stopped the Eagles. Just like they replaced their team with the local high school team in the second half.
Yeah, really.
they
Yeah,
stopped doing as you said earlier, they stopped doing the things that was winning them games.
Yeah,
and then the Jaguars beat the Colts. It's like, what the heck is going on here? The
yeah.
Packers look good against the Vikings, and let's see the Bears beat the Lions. Oh, and then of course we're talking about your Raiders. So how did
No, I ain't no
how,
Raider fan, brother. I'm a
what,
Giant fan. We
right,
lost off some bull
right?
stuffy, some stuffy Buffy.
What did you guys think of how Cam looked and how they used Cam in that Dolphins game?
Cam's
I
that
think
guy.
yeah, they used him the only way they could use him to get production out of
Yeah.
him. If you don't use him that way, he's not going to be effective for you. They let him do what he know how to do.
Right. You can't use Cam like you use Brady. Cam's bigger, he's stronger. When
And you
you're
know
looking
better.
at a third and three, a third and four, the defense has to set up to stop Cam also. So you're
Hmm.
taking somebody out of pass coverage in that area to spy on Cam. And then if he goes downhill, you're
He's a
not going
big
to stop
body.
him. Yeah, you're not going to stop him.
Big. He's big. And the scheme that Belichick uses obviously is kind of suited for Cam. I think people underestimate Cam because of his off-field antics. He's not a bad ball player. He just got some weird activity. I mean, if you get past that, he's a pretty solid ball player.
Were you
It's
guys
that Atlanta
surprised that
stuff.
the 49ers score? The Cardinals beat the 49ers.
Absolutely.
I was, yeah, I thought the 49ers would get that.
I didn't I didn't see that Steeler game. How did the Giants play, Rory?
We looked okay. Our first half, our defense, which they expected the Steelers to score like 50 points on, we looked pretty well. We just didn't do anything in the second half. We had two opportunities in the first quarter. We were on a 3 yard line and couldn't score. I think we have to do something with our offensive line a little bit because it really didn't present Saquon an opportunity for him to get loose. And then we had a second half. We opened up and had about a 19 play drive, and on the 5 yard line, and he tried to throw a little flutter, and the guy tipped it, and we intercepted. They intercepted in the end zone. So I got a partner of mine, and my older brother also is a Steeler fan, and they tried to call, but I told him, I said, we gave that game away to you all, so don't call me with no nonsense. Call me with some facts, right? Because if we had scored them 2 points, them two touchdowns, you all would have went under a rock or something. Uh, but I think Daniel Jones didn't look bad. We got to get some receivers who are a little bit more confident, and we got to get some way to get Saquon open because one play he went like 40 yards. They just threw a little like a little flare out to him, and he went for like 40 yards. So he's a beast, and I think if you don't get him more touches that can get him to be what he is, he's going to turn into OBJ. Yeah, and I don't
did,
want that
did
to happen.
the Chief look good against the Texans, right?
Yeah, they did. They did.
And
What's my
the
guy
Bills
name? The little receiver. What's the little receiver? Tariq Hill. Tariq Hill looked really good.
Mm.
and the Bills against the Jets.
Yeah, the Bills just did something to them Jets.
Okay, so week 2, we already talked about the Bengals and the Browns.
What's
That
the
will
score?
be
Who's winning? I want to know if I'm winning or not. I don't know. We probably all got like 4 wins and 12 losses, but
Yeah, probably so.
okay. Well, hold
you
on.
in
Wait a minute. Wait a
tabulation?
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Um, you picked the Chiefs, right? You picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick whoever you say wins right now. So I'm gonna be
No, no,
undefeated.
no,
So don't.
no.
Pick-
Because I think everybody
Yeah, I
picked the
picked the
Chiefs
Chiefs.
over the
Yeah,
Texans, and
yeah,
I know I picked the Bills over the Jets,
yeah. We all did that, I think.
right? Uh, I did pick the Eagles over Washington,
I
and
did too. Coach, who you
and
picked? You picked that too, right?
I think I did too. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
for
Okay.
the
yeah,
fan,
and
I
I
did.
picked the Packers over Vikings, and I
Yeah, I
picked
did
the
that too.
I
Yeah.
picked the Colts over the
Yeah, I
Jaguars.
did that
So
too. Yeah, I did the
yeah, so
Colts.
I
Yeah,
mean and the
I
Jaguars
think I did.
won.
I'm sure I did.
I picked the Ravens over the Browns,
yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
and I think I did pick the Raiders over the Panthers.
I picked the Panthers, so I know that. I picked the Panthers.
I think I picked the Raiders, and I know I picked Tennessee over Denver.
So I don't know
Cowboys over.
who I don't know who I picked between the Bears and the Lions.
I know I picked the Lions.
I
Oh,
think I picked the
okay.
Lions.
I did pick Seattle over the Falcons, and I picked the Patriots
Yeah,
over the Dolphins.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
certainly
I'm
picked the
all week.
Chargers over the Bengals,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think I picked the 49ers over the Cardinals.
I think everybody did that.
Yeah. I
Now,
pretty good at that.
the Cowboys in the Rams game, I said that they were playing at the Rams. Remember I said they were playing at the Rams would win? Remember that?
I picked the Rams. I picked the Rams too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said if they were playing at the Rams would win. And I think you guys looked it up and said that they were playing at out west.
Right.
Certainly picked the Saints over the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last two was the Steelers and the Giants,
I picked the Giants. Y'all picked the Steelers.
right?
Yeah.
And Tennessee against Denver.
I know
I
I
think
picked
I
Tennessee.
picked Denver.
I
Let
know
me
I
look at my
picked.
let me look at my book right now. I got my stuff right here. Yeah,
Okay,
I picked the,
so
I picked the Titans.
Okay.
so the Bengals and the Browns tomorrow
This
night.
week,
Yeah, yeah, coming up. The Bengals and the
Bengals.
Browns.
I'm going with the Browns.
Okay. I would love for the Bengals to win that game, but I guess I'm going to have to go with the Browns. Okay.
All right.
The Giants and the Bears.
I'm going with the Giants.
I'm going with the Giants, baby. I'm going with the Giants till we go down under. That's what you see what I'm wearing tonight, right? You see what I'm wearing? My Giants hat. Don't play. I'm going with the Giants.
You know what? Just to make it interesting, I'm gonna go with the Bears. Just
We know. We know.
yeah. Just
You a hater.
because the Rams and the Eagles. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Rams based on what I saw last week.
You
I'm
better
gonna
go
go
with the
with
Eagles, bro. If you want a place to stay.
I'm going with the Eagles because of Fran.
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
going
go
with
with
the
the
Eagles
Rams.
too. They ain't. I'm going with the Eagles. They ain't not gonna lose two in a row like that.
I'm going with the Rams. The Falcons and the Cowboys. You know what? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on before we go to that one. Panthers and the Buccaneers.
Panthers.
Ooh,
Really,
really?
I'm going with the Buccaneers. I'm going with the Buccaneers on that
And whoever the Buccaneers play, I'm going with the other team. So you can always be
one.
I'm gonna
opposite.
go. Okay,
That in
whichever
Washington.
team is playing at home, that's the team. Well, yeah, whichever team is playing at home, which really doesn't make that much difference. But whatever team is playing at home, the
How about the
49ers and the
Buccaneers?
Jets.
49ers.
I think the 49ers.
49ers here. Okay, the Steelers and Broncos.
I'm going with the
Steelers.
Broncos. Okay.
Steelers.
I'm going with
All
Steelers.
right. Going with the Broncos.
The Jaguars and the Titans.
Titans.
Jaguars.
Titans. Lions and Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Bills and the Dolphins.
Bills.
Bills.
Bills. Vikings and the Colts.
Vikings.
Vikings. Washington and Arizona.
I don't care.
Arizona.
Arizona.
Arizona. Ravens and the Texans.
I'm going
Ravens.
with
Who, coach?
Ravens.
Oh,
Chiefs and the Chargers.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Patriots and ooh, okay. Patriots and Seattle. That should be a
Seattle.
good game.
Where they
Huh?
gonna play? Where they playing?
I don't know, but it's a Sunday night game.
What did it say? Patriots versus Seattle or Seattle versus Patriots?
Let's see.
Who's on top?
Patriots.
And they're playing in Seattle.
Going with Seattle then.
I'm going with Seattle anyway.
Saints and the Raiders.
Ooh.
Saints.
Uh,
They
I
playing in
like
Las
this.
Vegas. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me change. That's the first game ever in this new stadium. I'm going with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. You
Yeah.
might
I
be
know
right. That
Saints
might
gonna
be.
win.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to
I knew he was
be
gonna get you, coach. I knew he was
cowboys.
gonna get you.
Hey, I'm down with. I'm down
Okay.
with them Cowboys. Even though them Cowboys are not down with me, I'm down with the Cowboys.
Who they play? Who they play? They play a
Okay.
big team, right? Who they
Oh,
play?
the Falcons. They're gonna win that game.
But
Oh, they're gonna beat
no,
the Falcons. They're gonna beat the Falcons. Yeah.
no. On paper, we should win. We can go out there and stink that sucker up out. But I'm believing that after that close loss, that all that mystique they're giving McCarthy gonna come back and we're gonna show up against a game we
Yeah.
should win.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going with the Falcons. I mean, no, the Cowboys. Excuse me. We them boys.
Be them boys,
Yeah.
them them boys. Them boys better charge it up.
Right.
You know, before we get out of here, we're gonna have to invite people to join us on Sunday. So Here we go.
We would like to invite you to join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. for Brother Can We Talk with the original Coach Carter, the elder Rory T. Edwards, and Charles E. Morse. Join us for stimulating conversation while exchanging ideas and information as we break down barriers, strengthen our black men in our community. Our topic this week is we look forward to you joining us every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Zoom, Facebook, and Twitter for Brother Can We Talk.
All right.
I like that. And Fran, and she put a little emphasis on that, brother, and we talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like
True
that
that.
part.
True that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
So
you send that out yet?
it's soon as we finish here, it's coming.
I gotta send that. I gotta send that out to a couple of people right now because we got several people who who aftermath some really good comments about that. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right.
Please.
Well, this is Youth Central Sports, where we come to you every Wednesday at 11 p.m. I almost said 7 because I'm thinking about the Brother Can We Talk. I almost said 7. Well, we come to you every Wednesday at 11 p.m. We're via East Coast. Then we go up to the mountains and the hills. Then we head out west, somewhere near the Strip, somewhere in Vegas. What was the temperature, Rory? What was the temperature today?
Today,
Yeah.
103.
Wow. What was it? What was the high today there, Vince?
81.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fall
One
is trying to knock on the door.
little bit. We're feeling the effects of salad coming up our way. So we're getting some rain, some a little cooler temperatures, little light rain, which is kind of bringing the temperature down a little bit. So hopefully, at the end of this month, we'll be much. In fact, we're forecasted for some fall weather this coming week.
Oh, okay.
I
All
hope it's
right.
true. WNBA, they got single elimination going on over there. Some real good basketball. A lot of people say it's not real ball. I disagree. It's some good ball out there. You got
Right.
Chicago in Connecticut, and then you got the Suns and who was the other team they were playing? Washington. That turned out to be a good game out there. So don't forget about them. They're down in that bubble in Florida too, playing some
Right.
serious ball.
All right. All right. All right.
Did you see, just a sidebar, did you see that, you remember Maya Moore set out 2 seasons to help release that gentleman that she was saying was wrongly convicted?
Yeah.
They got married.
We
You
Yeah,
actually
talked about
talked
that? You
about
talked
that
about
for
that?
about
Okay, okay, I'm
yeah.
yeah
sorry.
for about 15 minutes there, Rory.
Okay, well, that's why I figured, I was trying
Yeah,
to,
yeah. We talked about that,
that's
but yeah,
good.
that was yeah, and actually, Rory, you can probably and actually, based on what I was saying, was that it's just interesting how life, we talk about how it evolves and how at a stage of your life you thinking that I'm here in this place, and then now you're here, married
Hmm.
and blah 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 blah, and how life changes. So we kind of took it there, for a moment,
Yeah,
and how we
okay.
evolved and things seemed gleam and it could seem hopeless, but look now and how things have changed in your life for this brother.
Yeah, yeah, no more sad for
And
me.
for her too. I know what I'm excited if he can find a mate. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
There you go.
I'm not going the incarceration route though, but
There's hope, right? There's
it's
hope.
hope. I don't want that kind
Listen,
of hope.
listen. There's some queens out there for you, brother. There's some queens out there for you. They just waiting for their kingdom to be built. You know what I'm saying? And
Ooh,
I just bought a pallet of bricks the other day. I'm trying to build my kingdom right now. So if there's some queens out there that think, if you looking at me and say, "Wow, he looks well put together," just holler at me. You can only talk to me on Brother Can We Talk. No other entity can you talk to me on, but Brother Can We Talk.
I
that's
got a
funny.
snack for you too. So
You got some snacks for me?
got a snack. I got
I'm trying to watch my weight. I'm trying to watch my weight.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Hey,
We
people.
about to go off the whole end deep end, huh?
Yeah, people, please listen. Please make sure that you, family, and friends are registered to vote, and make sure that the people have an opportunity to vote, which means that if they don't have a way to the polls, let's make sure everyone has a way to the polls. If not, by mail-in voting, please
yeah.
make sure that we vote. Also, proper distancing. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure that you use some common sense.
Wear a face cover.
Please, yes, wear your face mask. So, with that being said, the original Coach Carter, the elder Rory T. Edwards, Charles Morse. Everybody, please enjoy the rest of your week. Everybody, be blessed.
Be blessed.
You've been watching Youth Central Sports with the original Coach Carter, the elder Rory T. Edwards, and Charles E. Morse. Like us on Facebook and YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Join us again next week for Youth Central Sports, because sports is more than a game. This has been a Youth Central Connection production.